Hello, my name is Aletha Stahl, and I'm a Senior Intercultural Learning Specialist at the Center for Intercultural Learning, Mentorship, Assessment, and Research at Purdue University. Before I came to this position, I taught for more than 2 decades at a small liberal arts college where the informal motto was "Awaken the Teacher Within." That ethos of guiding learners to make their own discoveries and to take ownership of their learning is fundamental to how I understand facilitation. It also informs the learning outcomes and my design of this module. Before you begin, there are 3 pieces of information I'd like to share. First, you will hear from multiple people in the videos. These seasoned facilitators work in higher education and in community education in Indiana. They may refer to learning contexts or to facilitation experiences that you can't relate to immediately, but I'm optimistic that their wisdom will spark insights. I send a wave of gratitude to each of the people interviewed and to Philza Armadita, the graduate assistant who interviewed them and edited the videos. Second, you will hear various perspectives on the term facilitator. For the purposes of this module, a facilitator brings content and guides learning related to intercultural and diversity, equity, inclusion outcomes for a group. In some contexts, the term trainer is used. Since you found your way to this module through the Intercultural Learning Hub, I assume that you have a working definition of intercultural learning. If you want one, mine appears here. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are distinct concepts, although I follow the trend of lumping them together. Each has multiple valences and has been tasked with important work. How these terms are understood and institutionalized in the United States is also hotly contested. For our purposes, diversity refers to all aspects of human difference. Equity is the active work of creating equal access to opportunities, and inclusion is an intentional engagement with diversity to ensure that all individuals can contribute and achieve their potential. I recently encountered the term expansion to replace inclusion, and I like that as a way of emphasizing shared power rather than the idea that there is an in-group that needs to include an out-group. That said, power differences exist and need to be recognized and addressed. Diversity, equity, and inclusion center crucial issues of systemic injustice that are not always explicit in intercultural learning. I hold that intercultural and diversity, equity, and inclusion models need to be brought together, which is why I address both in this module. Third, this is your learning experience. You determine where you dig in deep and where you skim or even skip material. If you would like to have certification in the professional development zone that you have completed this module, you will need to submit the capstone, which consists of an autobiography, a plan for development, and an evaluation. That's it. Finally, if you want to connect directly with me about anything related to this module or to other work I do, I invite you to do so. My own inner teacher can always use more awakening. I hope you enjoy the module.